Launch code. Access granted.
Hello, welcome to GED exam preparation class. I am your host and instructor, Ruben Herrera. And on this lesson, my friends, we are going to learn about the Pythagorean Theorem. Okay, let's get started. I want to start by defining first what the Pythagorean Theorem is. Actually, it was discovered about 2000 years ago. There was an amazing discovery about triangles, and it was the Pythagoras Theorem. Okay, it states that the area of the square whose side is the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of the areas of the squares on the other two sides. Okay, I think this sounds a little bit too confusing, so let us go ahead and actually start working on this Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so first of all, we can only apply the Pythagorean theorem with a right triangle. Okay, so the right triangle is a triangle that, as you can tell right here, has a 90 degrees angle. Okay, so these are the only type of triangles of which we can apply or use the Pythagorean theorem with. Okay, the Pythagorean theorem formula looks something like this, my friends. It's a square plus b square is equals to c square. Okay, with this being a right here. Okay, this is the what we call the leg, one of the legs, and this is the b leg, or this or the B side, and then this right here, this is C right here, this side right here. This is also known as the hypotenuse, my friends. Okay, hypotenuse. And with the Pythagorean theorem, we can find out what is the measurement of this side right here by knowing what is the area of these two guys right here. Okay, so let us go ahead and solve for this Pythagorean theorem by using this formula right here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and dissect and write the process or have the process here on a step so that you guys can see how this is solved. Okay, so first of all, I have right here my formula for the Pythagorean theorem. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute my variables for my values. So now my formula is going to look something like this. You see that I got 4 square plus 5 square, which is equals to c square. With 4 square is representing right here, this 4 square is representing this, the A leg, and then this 5 square is representing this B leg, okay, or this B side. So what we're going to do next, okay, we're going to solve for this. What is 4 square and what is 5 square? And as a result, we're going to have that 4 square is equals to 16 and 5 square is equals to 25. The sum of these two is going to be equals to c square, okay? So now, based on this, on what we have in front of us now, the next step will be to sum those two, and that's going to be equals to 41. 16 plus 25 is equals to 41. So therefore, one can say that the measurement of this C right here is 41. But wait a minute, Ruben, that doesn't make sense. If this is 4 and this is 5, how is this going to be 41? That will be, it is too large. It doesn't make any sense. Well, the reason is because the result, this 41, is the result of the sum of these two sides, but these two sides are already elevated to the square power or to the second power, and therefore, as a result of this result right here is also elevated, you know, to the square power or to the second power. So now what we need to do, we need to reduce this, okay? And we reduce powers by doing the opposite, by doing the square root. So what we're going to do now to reduce this 41, we're going to do a square root of 41. Okay, a square root of 41, you're going to have to use your calculator for this. And the key to do the square root on that calculator or smartphone, as some people do it nowadays, although on your GED exam, you're going to have to use a calculator, a scientific calculator that is. The key or the way the key looks for the square root is different on every calculator, but the procedure is the same. You're just going to have to find how to do that on your own, okay? So going back to this is the square root of 41, and the square root of 41 is equals to 6.40. Therefore, C now is equals to 6.40. So you see the 6.40 is the square root of 41, which 41 was the elevated to the second power answer to this. So we have to reduce back to this so that we have to reduce back this 41 so that we can have this result 641, and it makes more sense now, this right here, this 6.40 right here, it'll make more sense that the size for this will be 6.40. Okay, and it makes more sense now, okay, because this is 4 and this is 5 and this is 6.40, so this is a lot more better. Okay, let us look at one more example now. Okay, now I have this triangle right here, my friends, now, and remember that it has to be a right triangle, the one we use to apply the Pythagorean theorem. And let's go back to our formula. Our formula for the Pythagorean theorem is going to look something like this. Okay, h squared plus b squared is going to be equals to c squared. On the next step, I'm going to go ahead and substitute my variables for my values. And this is going to be equals to 5 squared plus 6 squared equals to c squared. Okay, very nice. So let us go ahead and solve for these powers. And we have now that 5 squared is equals to 25. 6 squared is equals to 36. Now we're going to have 25 plus 36 is equals to c squared. Okay. Now as a result, if we add 25 plus 36, that's going to be equals to 61. The next step, my friends, now we're going to have to reduce this 61, because remember, as a consequence of elevating these two numbers to the second power, this answer already inherited that second power elevation. Okay, so we're going to have to now do the opposite. We're going to have to reduce the 61, so therefore we're going to do a square root of 61, and a square root of 61 is equals to 7.81. Okay, and therefore the hypotenuse, or C, is going to be equals to 7.81. Okay, my friends, let us look at this example. This example is going to have a little bit of a twist now. So let us look at this triangle right here. On this right triangle, notice that now we already have the value for the hypotenuse here is 6. And we have the value for the A leg. And our job is going to be to find out the value for the B leg, okay? So our formula is still going to be the same, my friends, okay? H squared plus B squared is going to be equals to C squared. I'm going to dissect and have the process right here of this problem, my friends, for you so that you can understand. This is going to be just a little bit different. It's going to have a small twist. Okay, so what we're gonna do, okay, we're gonna substitute our variables for our values, which is gonna be equals to 4 squared, this 4 squared, representing this 4 right here, plus b squared, which is the value that we need to find this time, equals to 6 squared, which is the value of the hypotenuse. Okay, so for the next step, I'm going to go ahead and solve for these powers. I have that 16 now. 4 squared is equals to 16. 16 plus b squared is equals to 36. 6 squared is equals to 36. So that's what I have, this 36 right here. Okay, now for my next step, and this is where the twists come. What I'm going to do, I need to find out what the value of b squared is. And what I'm going to do, my friends, I'm going to treat this like if this was an equation. Remember, my friends, we learned this on a past lesson, how to do simple equations. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this 16 right here to this side right here. It's going to have to go in here, and it's going to have to be here to the right of the 36, and the 16 right here is a positive number, and it looks like it's adding. So whenever we move it across the equal sign, right here. Whenever we move it across, move it to the other side, and we're going to move it with the opposite operation. Okay, in this case the 16 is positive, it looks like it's adding, so therefore now the 6 that 16, I'm sorry, is going to be a negative. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, my next step, my next step is going to look something like this. I'm going to have 36 minus 16 is going to be equals to 20. Okay, now therefore I can tell that 20 now is going to be the value of this b leg. However, remember, we still have one more step. We need to do the square root of 20. Square root of 20, okay, my friends, is going to be equals to 4.47. Therefore, we can tell that the value of the b leg is going to be equals to 4.47. Okay, all right, my friends, thank you very much for being part of this lesson. I hope that you learn from this video and that you enjoy it, and have a great day.
Launch code. Access granted.